Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the November the 5th post-election. Thank God that's over. Well, kind of, right? All right, so let's start with a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Miss Jackie, can you call the roll, please?
Yes. Mayor Velardo,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Evans,
Here.
Ms. Russell,
Here.
Mr. Mitchell,
Here.
Mr. Redmond,
Present.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Here.
Mr. Haskins.
Here.
Thank you. I have the proceedings from October the 20th council meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Velardo,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Yes.
Thank you. Financial statements. We need to adopt the financial report from September 2020.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Ms. Velardo,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond.
Yes.
All right. So that takes us right to our first public comment section. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to address council? Now would be the time.
Specific to anything?
Specific to anything. Anything you want to talk about.
Are you gonna talk about the noise ordinance later, and would it be a better time to discuss that then, or should I just go ahead and stress, those are my only comments.
It's in my report. but-
Now would be the time for public comments.
Yeah, okay.
We have the minutes from the meeting, so we've read them. So if you don't mind, would you come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, my name is John Savage. I live at 1704 Chase Avenue. I'm a property owner around 5770 Park Road. My specific questions, I saw a proposed redraft of the ordinance that your council sent to my attorney this afternoon, and I just have some issues that I would like, if that is going to be adopted tonight, I have some issues and questions with that. First thing is, how will unreasonable volume be determined? Everything in there discusses just timing, specifically only end timing, not start timing. But so how is there going to be sort of decibel readings at the source or from a certain distance to be able to identify when it'll be a problem? Because I don't see anything in what is written in the ordinance that says that there's going to be a gauge of the level of sound coming from the River District. Another thing is the start time. You only have end times. I understand the end times, but there's no start time. So could it be possible, like normally they might play from 9 to 12 and during the weeknights or the weekend? But what if they have a festival? Is there a possibility that we're going to have sound going for a 12-hour period? So that, there's really, there needs to be some sort of definition of the time within this ordinance to be able to, for us as property owners and taxpayers within the city of Milford, to be able to gauge the impact on us. How do I complain? And I will eventually, but how do I complain when there's a problem? Do you call the police? And who decides the penalties? I notice there's a schedule for penalties, but who decides when these penalties are going to be doled out? What is the criteria that'll kind of indicate when these penalties are going to be imposed upon the, well, in this case, the brewery, but anybody, really? So I have a simple solution, very simple. Require Little Miami Brewing Company and the Future Events Center to close their doors and windows when they're going to have amplified music. Problem solved. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. Have them close their doors and windows, play as loud as you want. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody else? Good evening.
Hi.
Hi, can you state your name?
Carol Donovan at 28 Worcester Pike.
Thank you.
I kind of probably agree with a lot of what John says, living here for 15 years directly across from that brewery on the river. As I've said in the past, I think the brewery was a great thing when it was built, when we approved it under the pretense that it would be acoustic music, which we have reiterated this more than once. I'm sure you've heard it. And I agree with him in a sense this all day long. And I guarantee you when the event center comes in, and somebody brought this to my attention after we approved it, well, what is an event that the event center gets used for? He said directly that it would be for weddings or meetings. But what prevents an event from just being, hey, let's hire a band. We got doors and windows facing a river. We can play all night long till midnight or whatever, and we can deal with that. And I think that y'all here have sat here and heard these many a time from everybody and neighbors. And I think the big thing is, I think that being neighbors, you would want to make it so it works for everybody, for each other. And I agree with the windows and doors, definitely. When that music's playing, it does get a little loud. In the summer, I can't open my windows. I'm not going to sleep at 10 or 11 o'clock at night when I got to get up in the morning because of that. You know, I just think that to be good neighbors, we should all try to work this out because council represents us as well as that brewery. And it seems that every ordinance or sound thing has been revolving, no matter how I've been told, it's revolved around the Little Miami Brewing Company. I didn't find out until I walked over on Mound and those streets in that neighborhood that people were complaining about the Quaker Steak and Lube. And I was like, you can hear that over here? And they said, yeah, we've been hearing it for years. And I get it. You want a successful business. But you look at the breweries around town, and none of them are in a place where they have a river that broadcasts sound and a neighborhood with homes abutting to it. You look at any of the breweries, they're in like Fretboard and Blue Ash. It's in an industrial area. You look at Mad Tree, it's over in Oakley, an industrial area. We're in a neighborhood. They got prime real estate there. And all we as neighbors are asking is how do we work this out so everybody gets resolved in the issue? And I agree that why not with Amplified Saturday night? I don't know what they were playing, but I definitely didn't like their version of Werewolves of London. Kind of sucked with that cover band, but my point is they've already got the prime real estate. They already got it under the pretense of acoustic guitars. And here we are, still at these meetings, begging you guys to resolve this, to make it work for the neighbors as well as just that brewery. Help us, please. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? All right. There being none, we'll move on through the agenda to our Safety Service Committee.
Okay, our Safety Service Committee meeting was on October the 20th. I called it to order at 6 p.m. Lisa Evans was present and Kyle Mitchell. Staff members, City Manager Michael Doss, Assistant City Manager Pam Holbrick, Police Chief Jamie Mills, and our Administrative Assistant Jackie Bain, and Fire Captain Miles Miller. Also, we had a visitor, Miss Robin Beluski from McCormick Trail up in Milford. We approved the proceedings from July 6th. So then we got into discussing the RV survey results that had been sent out. The committee discussed the results of the survey, which resulted in further discussion by the committee to define and clarify the current rules and definitions on parked recreational vehicles in the residential areas. It was agreed that we should continue the enforcement the same way and that we need to clarify some of the language in Chapter 721, 3, 1151.17 and 1181.13 to be updated. Rules to state the vehicles must be registered and licensed. It must be on a pad which is to be maintained. The pad can be either of concrete or a gravel area. No items to be stored underneath the vehicle. The vehicle cannot be hooked up to water or electric, and of course no one can be living in the vehicle. Then we talked about the fence or screen is not to exceed 8 feet high. This must be of one solid, same height, uniformed panel, whether it be a panel, fence, or a screen. And it must be used in the side or the rear yard. It cannot be a vegetative screen. The vehicle must be placed behind the front foundation line. And we all realize that in these times that we're living in, that there's shortages all over the place, and wood is one of those, and putting up panels and things like that are hard to come by, so we are aware of that. Ms. Beluski from Mount Cormac Trail got up and spoke about her concerns regarding the current ordinance, which were established, she said, almost 30 years ago, which were established when recreational vehicles were not at the height that they are today. In their neighborhood, there is an RV that is 11 feet tall. She said the ordinance should reflect that type of RV that are available today. If we stick with the 8-foot high fence, then there will still be an RV higher than the fence. So sections of the fence should be continuous panels, 11 feet shielding. Or they could be put in an enclosed side structure, is what her recommendation was. Let's see, this information from this committee discussion will be addressed with the city law director, Mike Menier, for further processing. Then we talked about the roundabout on Chamber Drive, the visibility there. Ms. Evans informed the committee that the council member had received an email from Kenton Hare regarding the roundabout visibility on Chamber Drive. The committee felt that we could place something in the middle to alert drivers about the roundabout. That would be dangerous for me. Chief Mills spoke about the pavement markings and paint the entire roundabout yellow to familiarize drivers of the location of the roundabout. Also recommended possibly placing reflectors or signage in the location, which would help keep traffic flowing. Then we talked about a crosswalk at Riverwalk Flats. I received an email from Paul Brusolero, who lives at Riverwalk. He was requesting a crosswalk or a stop sign at Water Street. The committee discussed that area did need a crosswalk in the location and concluded that it was a good idea to have a crosswalk placed at Garfield Avenue and Water Street. The committee agreed to recommend a crosswalk be placed at Garfield Avenue at Water Street. And so there being no further business, then I made a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:30.
Thank you, Mrs. Russell. It's crazy to think that as long as that roundabout has been there, that people are still driving across it.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That gentleman was worried too with the new motel out there at the other end.
Yeah, the people
It's
that
gonna be
aren't from here.
worse. Yeah, it'll be worse.
Because it's so flat that I get that. I get that. All right, moving on. Administrative Services, Vice Mayor Evans.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I called the meeting to order at 5:30 on November 2nd. Present were myself, Sandy Russell, Kim Chamberlain, City Manager Michael Doss, and Administrative Assistant Jackie Bain. Visitors were Rebecca Shundich and Daryl Donovan. We approved the minutes from the October 1st meeting. Our first discussion was about the noise ordinance. Mr. Doss discussed the examples brought before the committee with a draft number 1 and draft number 2 version of a new noise ordinance. The committee reviewed the details in the specific times noted in the original ordinance of each draft version. Mr. Donovan from Wooster Pike approached the podium to discuss the proposed noise ordinance information with the committee and Mr. Doss, and he discussed music from the brewery across the river. Ms. Chundich from Mount Avenue spoke about her concerns regarding this time set in the current noise ordinance. She recommended that we make changes to the noise ordinance. She also mentioned music from the brewery, and the 13-hour construction day noise was also discussed. The current ordinance on the book states to allow amplified music amplified sound to be played in the River District Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. and Friday and Saturday till 12 a.m. The committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance enacting Chapter 737 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Milford, Ohio, establishing the regulation of amplified sound within the City of Milford River District, 737.02. No person shall permit or allow amplified sound to be played or generated within the City of Milford River District after 10 p.m. Sunday to Wednesday, after 11 p.m. Thursday, or after 12 a.m. Friday and Saturday.
She needs a second.
Second.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Ms. Velardo,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes. Staybridge Hotel Economic Development Incentives. Mr. Doss brought to the committee's attention a small incentive for a $13 million investment on Chamber Drive. We've been successful with these incentive packages in the past. He made a recommendation to consider the City of Milford Property Tax Rebate Incentive Program and the Utility Tap Fee Waiver Program package as presented. The committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance authorizing a tax rebate incentive program for 5 years, 100% and tap fee and inspection fee waivers at 100% for Staybridge Suites.
Second.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Velardo.
Yes.
Allocation of 100% income tax collection to general funds in 2021. Mr. Doss presented information that he and Finance Director Pat Worthland recommended to be considered for adoption with the same legislation from Ordinance 2020-21, which was approved by Council on May 5th, 2020, and that an allocation of 100% of the income tax go into the general fund for the entirety of 2021, since we're still feeling the impact of COVID-19. The committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance authorizing the allocation of 100% of income tax collections to the general fund for 2021.
Second.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Velardo,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Yes.
Next topic was Bishop's Bike Trailhead lease agreement. Mr. Doss brought to the committee's attention that a few months ago, council passed a lease agreement with the Milford Trailhead. Bishop's was recently sold to Hellebusch Bicycles, LLC, and we had a lease with Bishop Bicycles that was set to expire in August of next year. The new owner wanted to know if they could be on the lease agreement. In keeping with the same approach and the opportunity to revise with a new lease with a new owner, a proposal that would be in effect from December 1st, 2020 through November 30th of 2025, concerning a 5-year lease. It does grant an additional 5-year option to renew. The current lease we have with Bishop's shows rent during May to August was $300 a month and September to April was $100 a month, for a total annual amount of $2,000. In keeping with the maintenance of the building, to put some money aside for exterior improvements to the building, a proposed new lease of May to August at $375 per month and September through April at $150 a month, for a yearly total of $2,700 per year. So the committee committee agreed to make a recommendation for the law director to draft an ordinance to enter into a lease agreement with Hellebusch Bicycles, LLC, and the rent to be $2,700 per year for a term of 5 years, beginning December 1st, 2020.
Second.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Ms. Velardo,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Russell.
Yes.
Hamilton County CARES Act local jurisdiction funding. Mr. Doss discussed with the committee the Hamilton County CARES Act funds for local jurisdiction funding. Since a little piece of Milford is located in Hamilton County, it does qualify for the city for a small portion of the CARES Act funds from Hamilton County. The city needs to enter into an agreement to receive local jurisdiction CARES Act funds in the amount of $890. So the committee agreed to make a recommendation for the law director to draft an ordinance to enter into an agreement with the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County to receive 2020 Karezak local jurisdiction funds.
Second.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Signal Hills Lift Station pump quotes. Mr. Doss reviewed quotes that Dave Walker collected from 3 different companies for 2 pumps for consideration for the substation, the lift station. Buckeye Pumps Incorporated for $12,723, which includes labor. Gorman Rump for $15,604, which does not include labor. And Pelton Environmental Products for $16,460.60, and that also does not include labor. The pumps will be used at the Signal Hill Lift Station. The current pumps are bad and are running on a generator, and Mr. Walker would like to get the current pumps replaced as soon as possible. Mr. Doss and Mr. Walker recommend that we purchase the 2 pumps from Buckeye Pumps. The committee agreed to make a recommendation for the law director to draft an ordinance authorizing the purchase of 2 pumps from Buckeye Pumps in the amount of $12,723 for the Signal Hill Lift Station.
Second.
Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
And with no further business, we adjourned at 6:11.
Nice work. You guys got a lot done in that committee.
Yes.
Okay. City Manager report, Mr. Doss. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Hope everyone's having an awesome, what is this, Thursday now, right? Manager's report for November 5th. I want to give you an update on Park National Bank. We have scheduled a closing with Park National Bank. That will be November the 17th, I believe at 11 o'clock a.m. here at City Hall. Economic development updates. You've noticed construction work is underway for the Christian Family Credit Union that's located on Chamber Drive. Just to let you know, Milford will be the site of the credit union's main office in the greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area as they look to expand over the next 3 to 5 years. Their main office will be here in Milford, so welcome. Cervadi is now open in the Milford Shopping Center. There's actually a ribbon cutting tomorrow. Cincinnati Gear, an existing company in our Commerce Park, has notified us that they intend to invest an additional $2 million in improvements and an additional building at their site, again, in the Commerce Park on Milford Parkway. An update on some city contracts, just to let you know and the public know, the city is accepting bids for the 2021 landscape contract. Specifications and bid documents are now available at City Hall, and that deadline for submission is November 30th at 11 a.m. City representatives met with Chief Mark Baird to negotiate the city's fire and EMS contract. The preliminary contract proposal will be provided to the Safety Services Committee next week for consideration. Standing committee meetings, that Safety Service Committee meeting will be November the 9th at 5 o'clock for those committee members, November the 9th at 5 p.m. And then some reminders as we move forward. November the 10th will be our 2021 budget work session, and that will start at 5 o'clock here. November 11th is Veterans Day, and the city offices will be closed. November 17th is the next regularly scheduled city council meeting, of course, at 7 o'clock. And November 18th is our planning commission meeting at 6 o'clock.
Thank you, Mr. Doss. I think we're all pausing because we just realized that we're not going to have a fire and EMS
Yes.
report tonight.
Oh, they just had a run.
It's like, oh, they're
They
coming.
just had a run.
Thank you, sir. But we do have a police department report this evening. Chief Mills.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. And just before he left, Chief Barrett asked me to let you know he did not have a report.
Okay.
You should have my October report in front of you. I'll touch on some of the highlights. As far as training goes, I attended a webinar titled Leading During Trying Times. Assistant Chief Mahan attended an 8-hour course to be a use of force instructor. All sworn officers and supervisors attended 6 hours of less lethal force and qualification, and they also attended 3 hours of low-light firearms training. and a really busy month in terms of training. All sworn officers and supervisors also completed a policy review and test on our property room directives. And as always, Officer Yeri attended his monthly training with the Special Response Team, and Officer Dennis attended her monthly training with the Dive Team. You'll see that we had an uptick in thefts and breaking and entering throughout the month, so we just want to remind residents to be very diligent about locking their doors and reporting any suspicious activities. We did have one complaint on an officer's driving. However, the sergeant's review indicated that he was within policy. And we had a lot of community relations throughout the month of October. Our MART team went out twice. We had a wonderful trick-or-treat with our safety patrols, and we staffed our annual command center here in the parking lot that was augmented by the current Mayor Velardo, former Mayor Velardo, and the unofficial Mayor Johnny Velardo. A lot of royalty with us. Amy and I had a blast, so that was a good time. As everyone knows, the weather cooperated. We also helped out with a trunk or treat at RDI the Friday before Halloween, and our Citizens Police Academy continued through the month of October and actually just had their last class last night and has a graduation next week.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, well, that takes us to comment section, and I'm going to segue into what Chief was saying about Citizen Police Academy. So Kim and I just completed our 10-week class, and we did the Alice training last night, which was quite an eye-opener. I think Kim and I will both agree that we are definitely not cut out to be police officers. No. But I do want to give a shout out to Officer Yeri and Officer Wilson for their dedication to the program and their dedication to community policing. If you have not done CPA like myself and Jackie and Kim and Lisa and Sandy, I strongly recommend you do that. It is open to the public. We actually have 2 gentlemen in our class that are not even from the area. They're from Northern Kentucky, but they just wanted to participate in that. It's a great course. It's eye-opening. To say that we learned a lot is an understatement.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to becoming an alumni, and I'm really, really, really glad that I did that program.
Absolutely. And I second, everyone
Yeah.
should do that class. Agree. It's a really great.
It's free.
Yeah.
It's free, and they feed you.
And it's fun. I mean, not only like learning, but it's also,
Yeah.
it's really, it's a lot of fun and
It's
eye-opening.
interactive.
It's interactive. It's not just you're sitting, receiving information. You are participating
Yeah.
in the class. So
I was glad to do that with you. That was a lot of fun.
it was a great time. I was thinking, how can we like incorporate, is there an age limit? Like, could teenagers be participating or?
I think Miami
Sorry.
Township,
Yeah, junior?
there used to be a junior class.
In the summer, maybe?
Right, great question. And yes, we actually have a junior police academy for teens 13 to 17. So yes, for ours, you have to be 18 and up.
Okay.
But we kind of cover everybody from 13 on up.
Okay, that's
And I think what people don't know too is that we did that in conjunction with Loveland and Miami Township.
Right.
So
And
there
our
were a
junior
lot of
academy is the
us.
same. Yeah, it's great working together because we do work together.
Yeah.
And for a lot of residents, they don't know where the corp limits are. They really don't care. So it just shows, everybody in the academy that we work with Loveland and Miami Township and Goshen. So it's, we're all one big family, actually.
Yeah.
It was a really great class.
10 out of 10. Hometown holidays. I want to clear this up too because I'm getting a lot of questions about hometown holidays. I received confirmation today that we are going to do hometown holidays. They're going to spread it out over 4 weekends so that everybody has a chance to shop and dine without converging all on the same weekend. So they're going to continue the festivities for 4 weeks, the weekend of November 21st, the 28th, December 5th, and December 12th. My understanding is there'll be no carriage rides and no carolers. However, Milford Fire Department will be giving rides on the fire trucks on Saturdays from noon to 4 on those weekends, November
I
21st.
think that there'd be like a family unit, like your family will be on the fire truck
Yes.
only, yes.
And I understand that the stores have limited occupancy based on what they can handle, so we're gonna have to shop. So take your time. We all don't have to be there the Friday after Thanksgiving or that weekend. It will be going on through 4 different weekends. And finally, I want to talk about Cervadi ribbon cutting ceremony because it's great, but because they're giving away free stuff. So let's talk about that. So the ribbon cutting tomorrow is at Friday at 10 a.m. Everybody's welcome to join. It's in the Milford Shopping Center if you don't know where it is. Their daily giveaways, not just specials, their daily giveaways are Friday for the next 5 days until Veterans Day. So starting tomorrow, you get free pretzel sticks. Saturday, free tea cookies. Sunday, free ring donuts. Monday, free smiley face cookies. Tuesday, free brownies. And Wednesday, 20% off to all veterans. Isn't that great?
Yes.
Now, these are their daily specials that they have every day outside of this ribbon cutting event. Monday is always donut and coffee for $2. Tuesday is always 2 pretzels for $2. Wednesday is always 2 brownies for $1.75. Thursday, 50 cents off a pound of loaf of bread. And Friday is $1 off any cheesecake. So if you haven't been there yet, check it out. Come join us for the ribbon cutting ceremony and get your free pretzel sticks while they last. We'd love to see you. And I did have on my notes, but Mr. Doss covered, our budget session is Tuesday, November the 10th from 5 to 9. It is open to the public if you would like to come spend the evening with us. I talked a lot. Does anybody else have anything else they want to say? None?
No.
All right. So that takes us to ordinances and resolution. Mr. Manier.
Thank you, Mayor. This is ordinance 2020-55, an ordinance enacting Chapter 737 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Milford, Ohio, establishing the regulation of amplified sound within the City of Milford River District. Now therefore be ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford. Section 1, the Council of the City of Milford hereby enacts Chapter 737 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Milford, Ohio, as follows. Chapter 737, River District Sounds. 737.01, Definitions. 1. Amplified sound means music or other loud sound or noise, whether generated by live performance, radio, phonograph, television, tape player, compact disc player, computer, loudspeaker, or any other sound amplifying device. 2. Person means the owner, tenant, person in possession of a premises, or person in control of the premises by reason of employment or agency, whether such ownership, possession, or control is exclusive or joint. A person shall include any corporation, entity, or partnership. 3. River District is the business district located within the City of Milford as defined and set forth in the Milford zoning ordinance. 737.02, no person shall permit or allow amplified sound to be played or generated within the City of Milford River District after 10 o'clock p.m. Sunday through Wednesday, after 11 o'clock p.m. on Thursday, or after 12 o'clock a.m. on Friday and Saturday. 737.03, any violation of this ordinance shall be a minor misdemeanor subject to a $150 fine on the first violation, a fourth-degree misdemeanor subject to a $250 fine on the second violation, a third-degree misdemeanor subject to a $500 fine on the third violation, and a second-degree misdemeanor subject to a $750 fine for each violation thereafter. Section 2, this ordinance expressly revokes and supersedes ordinance number 2020-08, passed and adopted on January 21st, 2020, and amends and supersedes any ordinance, resolution, rule, or regulation which is clearly inconsistent herewith. Section 3, pursuant to and in accordance with Section 12.05 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Velardo,
Yes.
Miss Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins, Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-55, an ordinance enacting Chapter 737 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Milford, Ohio, establishing a regulation of amplified sound within the City of Milford River District.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond? Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Ordinance 2020-56, an ordinance authorizing the City of Milford Property Tax Rebate Incentive Program Agreement with Staybridge Suites. Whereas the City of Milford pursuant to and in accordance with Ordinance Number 1260 passed and adopted a property tax rebate incentive program for the City of Milford, and whereas Staybridge Suites qualifies and is eligible for the program, now therefore be ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Section 1. The Council of the City of Milford hereby authorizes the city manager to enter into and execute the City of Milford Property Tax Rebate Incentive Agreement with Staybridge Suites. The agreement attached hereto and fully incorporated herein by reference pursuant to Section 12.03 of the Milford City Charter provides for a 100% property tax rebate for 5 years with waivers of tap-in and inspection fees. Section 2, pursuant to and in accordance with Section 12.05 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance should become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second?
Mr. Haskins? Yes. Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain? Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-56, an ordinance authorizing the City of Milford Property Tax Rebate Incentive Program Agreement with Staybridge Suites.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-57, an ordinance authorizing allocation 100% of income tax collections to the general fund for 2021. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Melford, Section 1. The Council of the City of Melford hereby authorizes the City Finance Director to allocate 100% of City of Milford income tax collections to the general fund for the year 2021. Section 2, this ordinance amends and supersedes any ordinance, resolution, rule, or regulation which is clearly inconsistent herewith. Section 3, pursuant to and in accordance with Section 12.05 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance should become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second?
Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins? Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-57, an ordinance authorizing the allocation of 100% of income tax collections to the general fund for 2021.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-58, an ordinance authorizing a lease agreement with Hellbush Bicycles LLC, now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Section 1. The Council of the City of Milford hereby authorizes the city manager to enter into a lease agreement with Hellbush Bicycles LLC for bicycle storage at the Milford Trailhead building pursuant to and in accordance with the terms and conditions of the agreement, which agreement is attached hereto and fully incorporated herein pursuant to and in accordance with Section 12.03 of the Milford City Charter. Section 2, pursuant to and in accordance with Section 12.05 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance should become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second?
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Ordinance 2020-58, an ordinance authorizing a lease agreement with Hellbush Bicycles LLC.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins? Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-59, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of pumps from Buckeye Pumps for the Signal Hill Lift Station, now therefore be ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Section 1. The Council of the City of Milford hereby authorizes the purchase of 2 pumps from Buckeye Pumps for the Signal Hill Lift Station for the amount of $12,723. Section 2, pursuant to and in accordance with Section 12.05 of the Milford City Charter. This ordinance should become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second?
Mr. Haskins? Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
I got it. Thanks. Ordinance 2020-59, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of pumps from Buckeye Pumps for the Signal Hill Lift Station.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-60, an ordinance authorizing City of Milford to enter into the 2020 Karezak Local Jurisdiction Agreement with the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County, Ohio. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Section 1, the Council of the City of Milford hereby authorizes the Milford City Manager to enter into and execute the 2020 Karezak Local Jurisdiction Agreement, which agreement is attached here too, and fully incorporated herein by reference as if fully rewritten herein pursuant to in accordance with Section 12.03 of the Milford City Charter. Section 2, pursuant to in accordance with Section 12.05 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance should become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second?
Mr. Haskins? Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-60, an ordinance authorizing the City of Milford to enter into the 2020 CARES Act Local Jurisdiction Agreement with the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County, Ohio.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Manier. Thank you. I brought up the budget because I meant to tell everybody that it's my understanding that your budget books will be ready by Friday, so you can pick them up to review them for the weekend. Yeah, you get an email notification on that from Pat. Yeah, so keep that in mind, get that over the weekend, start looking at it, so you'll be prepared to discuss on Tuesday. Does anybody have anything else? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Ms. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.